What's up, Gunners Collective? Happy Cinco de Mayo. And I thought that if for no other reason, I should say, ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, Happy Cinco, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, de drinko, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, Happy Cinco de Mayo, baya, baya, baya. Órale, as you can tell by that thumbnail, we're going to talk some seriousness real quick, man. The Maras, right? Mara 18, MS 13, right? And they're going through hell right now, homes. They are going through a situation that's never been done to any gang, any organization, or any group, period, in the history of man. They're being eradicated, right? They're being taken from their homes, off the streets, anywhere, and placed in a supermax prison. No trials, no other stipulations, no due process, nada. If you have a tattoo, period, in El Salvador, you can be subject to snatched up off the streets by guys wearing masks, placed in a paddy wagon, and pensan la tira, taken to a supermax prison. You're not going to pass go. You're not going to collect 200. You ain't going to do nothing. None of that shit. You're just going to go straight to the pen. Now, they built a new supermax prison, one of the world's most harshest and largest prisons, period. And it's in El Salvador. Now, the Maras have been at war, guerra, with the government of El Salvador. The president has seemed to take it upon himself to make it his agenda, to make it his one thing that he pushes for, and that's to eradicate the Maras off the streets. Now, a lot of things have happened in the last few years, okay? People have been subject to a lot of gang violence in the streets of El Salvador. And we know the Maras between 18 and Ms Tressive, they have went at it extensively, quite extensively, for a very long time. These are two groups, two of the biggest and largest gangs in the world that tend to go at it quite frequently. But things have changed. Things have drastically changed in the streets of El Salvador. And that, in fact, does affect the street gangs of California and all over the United States. And let me express to you and explain to you exactly what's going on and how it is affecting the street gangs in the continental United States. Now, trip out. We've always heard the stories, and unless you've been to El Salvador, you cannot tell a story like they tell a story, because the violence and the escalation of violence is real. It's extreme violence. It becomes it's different nature. Whereas out here, we have shootings, we have stabbings that happen quite frequently. We have a lot of gangbanging going on, but over there, they take it to the highest level in a different degree. Very well known for using machetes and everything. And I've told you guys the story. In fact, when I first started Gunners Collective, I told you a story about my homeboy, rest in peace, Spanky de Gilas, who was El Salvadorian, who went back home fighting. You know, he was fighting a murder case. He was on the run. He went there and they found him chopped up and left in duffel bags or trash bags in front of his mom's house after the knock on that door. You know, it's very violent, but that's normality there. That's normal. That's what happens. You know, when you're living in a different type of country and there's different type of rules and regulations. You know, what's done here, which would be outlandish and make the world news, happens there every single day. Guard! It happens, right? It's just different. Now, because the level of violence has been so traumatic to certain people and it's been so tragic, the government felt that they had to declare war upon these gangs. But, and there's a lot of human rights activists involved in this, because is it fair? Is it unjust to knock at a door and snatch someone up just because they're wearing Nike's Cortezes? Because I'm going to tell you right now, these are facts. Where vatos like to run around Califas, orale, I got Cortezes, or Ben Davis shirts, or Raiders, go Raiders, right? Everybody's like that. If somebody in El Salvador was wearing this get-up right here, they're getting snatched up and getting vida, life. They're going to get considered a gang member just by the attire they wear or how they dress. Any type of paraphernalia, any type of gang-related paraphernalia, whether it be hats, clothes, Cortezes, shoes, even a tattoo of a cross is considered gang-related, and they're automatically categorized as a Mara, and they're thrown into incarceration. Now, their prisons are much different than our prisons. You know, our prisons, we got cat food again? Fuck it, in the morning we'll have SOS. It's all good, you know what I mean? Or we didn't get cinnamon rolls this week, eh? Fuck, man. I'm gonna go kill someone in the shower. Fuck it. right? Vatos are tripping. Over there, they're lucky if they get to eat once a week. See, things are very much so different in different countries. We don't have it as bad as they have it. You know, but gang violence is definitely on the rise, and it's definitely it's a trend going around the world. Everybody wants to be a gang member. Everybody wants to look like one or act like one. More so, I should say, rather than be about it and be one. See, I was a gang member in the past. I'm no longer affiliated or involved in that. Should I be speaking on prison politics? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Should I be trying to help the youth? Well, that's totally up to me. Should I be giving you guys the game and the knowledge you can't get in college? Again, that is totally up to me. Now, at the same time, in the meantime, in between time, I'm not here to tell you what you can and cannot do. I'm not here to dictate your program. I am trying to tell you, though, wholeheartedly, from someone who was really in situations, that it does get drastic fast. Just like that. Now, over there in El Salvador, this being a different country, there's different rules and regulations. There's different programs. Okay, the way that they're doing these guys is a little outlandish and it's over the top. It seems to be a little too much. It seems like the government is making it their mandates and their agenda, you know, to snatch these guys and eradicate these gangs. Now, it's happened in my own hometown. Okay, coming from Merced, I remember when it happened to the MGCs, the Merced Gangsta Cripas, right? An officer allegedly got peeled backwards by one of the MGC members, and they started to just eradicate them, put cases on them. Vatos they were gone for a while. I remember we used to trip with them. We were like, damn, we ain't even no one to trip on anymore. So let's go to Atwater, right? There was nothing to do because they had taken this whole gang and put them on life support. That was their own words. They had taken this one whole gang and they had eradicated them from the face of Merced County. They decided to do that. Now, of course, there was a few people that straggled along, were able to slide by and slide under a rock and hide. And then eventually, man, the gang grew again. But for a time being, for years, man, they weren't on the streets because the cops had an agenda. People had an agenda against them for what they felt they had done. Whether they did it or not, that's not the question. The real thing, the moral of the story was they were targeting them, right? Now, in El Salvador, we've always known, those that know, that MS 13 and 18th Street have been at war. They've been at guerra for years and years and years and decades. Those have been the biggest adversaries, with other gangs sprinkled in, but those were the two biggest ones. For those of you that don't know what the maras mean, it comes from the word marabunta, which is an ant that kills everything in its path. It's very deadly, right? That's where they derived the word mara, added it to, you know, what they got after, and boom, there you go, beep, beep, boop, 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 and they're ready to hit you with the machete. Now, for years and years and years, El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala have been very dangerous places in, of course, Central America and Southern America, South America. And we all look, National Geographic, Discovery Channel, A&E or whatever, and we watch, you know, different biographies and different stories. And I know you've seen them just like I've seen them about the Maras. Some rang true, some didn't. Some put a little too much tapatio on it. Some were as real as it got, right? But one thing was for sure, it was more dangerous there than it is here. And that's a fact. Okay, and it being so dangerous out there, the government felt and the people got tired of it. They got tired of waking up and seeing their son slaughtered and murdered in the streets. They got tired of going to work and being robbed at the end of the day. They got tired of certain situations, and that happens. You know, and the people rebel. The people rebel against that, and they go to town hall meetings and they cry in the streets, and the mother's cries are finally heard. And the government felt that if for no other reason, they should take it upon themselves to get these guys off the streets because these guys were taking over. That's how they felt. Not only was there a war going on between them, but the government involved themselves, and now it was a war on the streets, and blood was being spilled between these two big gangs and the government. Okay, but with the government inserting themselves, of course, they have the power. They have the guns, they have the money, they have the resources to incarcerate these guys. So what do? They just built one of the biggest supermax prisons to house all these guys. Now, I know you guys have seen the Discovery Channel and you've seen all the biographies, just like I have. And these two gangs, Mara 18 and Ms Tressive, were kept segregated. They were kept apart because the viciousness and the violence between these two groups was bar none some of the highest that we've ever seen in American history. It was on site. It was on get off where you're mad at. It was on point to the point that if these vatos seen each other, they were trying to literally kill each other, allegedly. Or were they? One never knows, does one? It just was happening. And for a long time, they were segregated. Well, when the government goes at people, they don't see no color lines. They don't see no barriers. See, it's not like Califas where the Perro Chatos, the Fresno Bulldogs are segregated on certain yards, or where SNY and GP are segregated, from each other. Now they're starting to mix them with these extra special yards they got. I can't call it like an alcoholic, but it's always been to the point where everybody was segregated. Now, to me, it doesn't matter where you go, where you've been, where you're going. All that matters is doing time, and the way you do it is by the content of your character and how you carry yourself. That's what you're going to be judged on. That's how you're going to survive. It's how to survive a South Central. A place where busting the cap is fundamental. Of course, in the 90s, places like South Central LA, Compton, Merced, Modesto, San Jose, Salas, Fresno, all these different places, it was rocking. Let's say it was rolling. You know what I mean? We felt a taste of gangbanging. We knew what it was to hit the calles and understand that you might not get back home, homes. We understood that at nighttime, it was clearly clack, 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 clack time, Mitchie Slick time. We understood that if you went to the Bay Area, it wasn't all about sideshows and getting hyphy. It was about pegadas and motherfuckers getting their caps peeled over turf and dope. This is just how it was. And those of us that survived it were able to make it and let you know that it ain't never going to be like it was. It's a little bit different. Just a little bit different, right? Now, they go through much worse times 100 over there in El Salvador, over there in Guatemala, over there in Honduras. They go through much, much, much more. Okay, it's terrifying to even come outside your home at certain times. And the government and the people just got tired of it. Now, I'm not rocking with the people in this one, and I'm not rocking with the gang members in this one. I'm rocking with what's right. I'm a humanitarian instead. I believe in human rights. I believe everybody should be treated equally. I also believe that you got coming what you got coming. If you fuck up, you fucked up. Best to go do the time. You know what I mean? If you get caught slipping, well, they slipped the clip and got to spitting. And that's on you, homes. Pensa la tira. I hope I'm not one of them. I could be possibly, but I'm not trying to be, right? I understand that if you fucking are a rat and you told on people and people don't like you because of that, that's on you, homes. Not everybody is in that same category, that same boat. People got different skeletons in their closet. People got different things going on. But at the same time, homes, don't be mad because of what you did. You have to look yourself in the mirror and understand, homes, that's on you. Okay, everybody's in different categories here. Everybody's done different things, and everybody's going to rock according to what they've done. You will be judged by many, even though you're not supposed to be, by the content of your character and what you've done in your past. Spence on La Tira, it's like that. Hey, I'm not the one to judge anyone. I don't care. I don't give a fuck if you told on everyone. That's on you, Wesley. You know what I mean? If you're over there hugging the latrine like motherfucker 6ix9ine and hang, they're stomping your head in, well, that's something you deserve because of what you've done. Now, furthermore, okay, let's just move on from that, if y'all know what I mean. Yeah, no, it ain't me. Let's keep it real, right? The people, the government got mad at these guys, and they decided to take away that segregation. To take away all of that. To treat everybody the same, but a little bit different. Because the wind was blowing. They decided that if for no other reason, to start knocking at doors. If you have any tattoos, they snatch you up. If you're dressed in any gang attire, if you got Nike Cortezes, Chuck Taylors, or if you got Pumas like Nip Hustle, rest in peace, the real one, the marathon must continue. If you got anything like that, they're going to snatch you up and they're going to place you guys all together now. See, everything that I've seen now, they got about those foreheads to backs. It's much different. They got them running to their cells like troops. They're not feeding these guys. They're not giving them showers like they should. These guys tried to do a hunger strike and they reversed it on them and said, then we just won't feed you forever. You know, it's very, the humanity in it, is, I don't see it. You know, I understand people are gang members and you feel that they're terrorizing the streets. You feel that they're terrorizing the public and the community. People are going to feel some type of way. People don't like it, especially people that get up off their ass in the morning and are hard workers and that no delayed gratification skills to obtain the things they want in life. People are going to feel like, hey, man, we don't got that coming. Why should we have to be subject to drive-bys or shootings or walk-bys or whatever the case may be? And their voices are going to be heard and felt eventually. Maybe not that fast, but over time. Now, in the communities in California, we go through a lot of black and brown struggle. One of them being when you dial 911, I don't know, someone flattened my tire. They ain't never going to come. Okay, hey, so they're cutting somebody's head already. Yeah, see, because the way the veins work, they're over there when they're supposed to be over here, right? They're not going to come. And when they do come, it's going to be 30 minutes later. And the Vato already got away. Vato's already in Castro drinking a pisto con un fucking tranny. It's just what it is, right? I'm telling you, seasons change and things change. But one thing that doesn't change is the response time in the ghetto or the barrios. Those real ones know what I'm talking about, period. Now, over there, the government is pura. Okay, at 10-5 aquí is pura. It's different. They've decided to make it their mission in life, their agenda to go after these people. Not even knowing if these are real gang members. You know, it could be some, on my birthday, I'm going to get a cross right here because I believe in Jesus, right? Toma, snatched, vida, supermax. What the fuck, right? All because of a tattoo. that doesn't even symbolize a gang. Now, of course, we know that there's a lot of gang members, a lot of people that have done bad things. Maybe they do deserve vida. Maybe they do deserve a little harsh treatment. Maybe that's what they need to get their fucking act together. Maybe that's what it's going to take. Okay? They have no remorse for certain people, so why should people have remorse for them? But you have to look at the humanity and the heart part of it, right? You have to think in your mind, hey, not everybody should be treated that harshly. You know, there's vatos that, hey, they're displaced, they're youngsters, they don't know no better. They grasp anything they can. They see a vato, he gives them a little game, a little clecha. He becomes their only familia that they have. And a lot of these impoverished places, these very poor countries, man, they don't have families. Their family members died, whether it be within civil war, robbery, anything they could have passed. And now they have nobody. They're homeless on the streets and they gravitate towards the streets. And what's out there, of course, the gangs are going to be out there. Okay, come here. Okay, you can do that thought thing. She didn't give you a mamon, then I'm going to give you a gun. You're going to kill him and her. Okay, because we don't want her to tell. There's all kinds of things that happen. So you can't judge and make everyone out to be a bad guy just because they got a few tattoos or they wear Nike Cortezes. So maybe that's all they can fucking afford. You know, maybe that's all they found at the Goodwill that day. You just never know. Anyways, they don't care about nothing or none of that. They're snatching everyone up. And what makes this so key and so different of a story is that they have now put these two groups together, these two rivals, these two vicious rivals that have been killing people for decades, each other, right? And one good thing that I can see that's come out of this is those gangs had to join together. They're not together like that. Okay, don't ever get it twisted. You know what I mean? But they've definitely put some of their differences of the past to the side for now because it's all about survival. When you have a common enemy, you have to come together, say, for power, like La Onda. And you don't shine shoes. So you come together because they're going to place you together anyways. If you're going to continue to kill each other's soldados, what's going to happen, Holmes? Eventually, you're doing the devil's work. You're doing what they want. That's why they did it. These vatos are smart enough to understand, you know what I mean? Hey, let's cease all hostilities. Let's cease that bullshit, Holmes. Let's get together on some survival shit because they're trying not to feed us. This is, okay, I'm hungry. You hungry? Wait, this is 18 streets, okay? But I'm hungry, eh? You know what I mean? So let's get bam. Let's starve together. We're going to starve. Or so I hope you die first. Let's say, I'll eat your ass. That's a real enemy guy right there. I'm telling you, it's not a laughing matter. I might make jokes out of it and light of it, but in the real deal and in the real grand scheme of things, it's definitely an unfortunate event that's happening right now. While we're talking about who the fuck's on a Bud Light beer or, you know what I mean, who Canelo's going to fight, these vatos are really nuts to butts, Holmes, heads to backs. It's an ugly situation. If you watch some of the documentaries, if you see that this prison that they built, a prison like no other. See, I've seen like different prisons in different countries because I'm into that type of shit. Having done a lot of time in prison, Sasuke, I just always gravitate towards those biographies. I always gravitate towards that prison shit. I don't know what it is. Sasuke, I should be living my best life, but I intend to one of these days. But until then, I will be watching prison documentaries, just like you guys are watching me right now because you think I'm going to talk about the Pinta, which I am. Now, look, Trip. So you see the prison shit, gente, right? And you look at what they're going through, and they're like prisons like Russia, Siberia, that's where they're having to run. And we're not talking about bulldogs, German shepherds, that's are on them. Swines, thrice, fear, sex even, right? They're on them. Vatos are going through some pain. They're going through some stuff. And as a human, as a Chicano, as a brown man, raza, you know, my eyes are open to this. I don't care what any man has done, unless he's a weirdo. If you're a weirdo, you don't touch kids and hurt old people, so can't. Yeah, you know what I mean? Get them, canine, get them, right? Other than that, I feel for these gente. I feel for what they're going through. See, I once was a gang member, man. All taquiated down because I thought it was cool, right? I did time with real ones from every side, all the way from San Diego on up. Yuba City to San Diego, stand up. Ukiah to fucking El Centro, stand up. And I know this. We kept a lot of respect going. We kept a lot of realisms going. There was a lot of vatos on the other side, man, that I respected even though they didn't know that. Okay? And I seen some of their struggles. I could tell when a vato was feeling down and out on the yard with the sad face, knowing his old lady's boning a black guy. I could see that in his eyes. I just seen it. And I knew I got the same letter 3 weeks before. Like, okay, maybe we could just tell up and talk, bro. Right? I just understand. Imagine the hardships they're going through. Snatched up in the middle of the night by guys with masks because they have a teardrop tattoo and thrown into prison without any type of court, without any type of, just you're here, Holmes. That's it. This is your life now. It's definitely a bad situation. So, hey, respects for these two groups putting their differences to the side for survival. See, when you're talking about rats and chomos and weirdos and all these type of people in the United States that everyone's always dwelling on, tripping on. These vatos are innocent. A lot of them innocent, man. Just because they had a tattoo snatched up. There's a lot of vatos, yes, that are gay members that maybe do deserve harsh treatment, that maybe do deserve to be, having their nose on a vato's back. Maybe. But at the same time, what about the innocent ones? Now, I seen something that happened on Hoodstocks. Respects to Lucky from Hoodstock. You don't like me, it's all right. But you don't have to like me. Okay? Now, trip out on this. I seen on Hoodstocks they had a criminologist or whatever this Bible says. I don't know. Dubs did a reaction to it. And this Vato was talking about people. There's no one. I've never seen anyone innocent of murder if they're locked up. They all did it. Bible, so bumped your head, Willie, right? Imagine all these guys that are incarcerated right now that never did that. They're not carrying. They're just snatching them up. It is right now a whole country government against gangs. That's what it's escalated to. And I know there's been a lot of violence in the past. And I know as a citizen maybe out there, they're happy. They're like, damn, we can finally breathe and go to, what I mean? And that's cool. And I understand that. But at the same time, man, you think about all the innocent ones that are in there, man, that are locked up going through hardships right now as we speak. They're not getting Cinco de Mayo homes. They're lucky they fucking get food. With that being said, gente, I hope that you watch this. I hope that you share this. Let's make this one go, man, because this is real. Everyone needs to know what's going on. With that being said, move smooth with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming to you. Be responsible. Don't drive drunk tonight, man. Be safe. Be with your familia. Be with your gente. I'm about to go get mine. See, this is why I'm Ben Davis stuck. You already know what it is, man. And unlike liars that say, I'm going to San Jose to go cruising. Come on, but they ain't even nowhere near San Jose. Stop it already. This is the gun, homes. Like it if you do. If you don't, hit it with the thumbs down. See, heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle with the double up. And you already know what it is. It's time to bubble up. Shout out to the Maras. I hope that you guys have it better than these churros do. The gun.